Hello, welcome to Royal Women at the Fashion Museum. I'm Ellie Summers, Collection Manager here at the museum, and today we're going to be looking at some amazing pieces from the Fashion Museum collection, worn by members of the British royal family. The Fashion Museum collection numbers some 100,000 objects and includes dress for women, men and children, glittering treasures from the 17th century up to cutting-edge fashion by today's designers and makers. And one of the jewels of the Fashion Museum is a wonderful collection of royal dress. Today we are looking at a dress. It dates to about 1805 and it belonged to Queen Charlotte, who was married to George III. It's an incredibly fashionable dress, and I think what's really interesting is that when Charlotte would have been wearing this dress, she would have been about 60 years old, and she would have had already many children. But this is really quite sumptuous in its decoration, and there are motifs of grapes, bunches of grapes, floral motifs, and then it is sprigged all over with what we think may be a little C for Charlotte. It's quite unusual to see a dress made entirely of lace in this way, and if you look closely you can actually see the strips of lace. It would have been made in handmade long strips, and then all those little sections would have been very delicately joined together, almost invisible to the eye, to create this incredible piece.
The dress is in absolutely excellent condition considering its age and how delicate it is, but you can see that it has had to have some conservation in the past, and we were very lucky to receive a grant from the Costume Society in order to do this. So you can just see how we've managed to reinforce some of these very small tears, which meant that we were able to mount it for exhibition.
It has these very short puff sleeves, a very high bust line, and it has that beautiful column silhouette that was fashionable at the time.
And it's got this really lovely Van Dyke edging on the sleeves here. Is that quite unusual at that time? Was that the type of edging you'd see?
This type of edging, actually, when you think about this Van Dyked style, it sort of almost harks back to Tudor period, doesn't it? So perhaps it was a nod back to previous relatives.
This is the finest quality of lace, so it would have come at a premium. It's something that you would expect royalty to wear, royalty who, had, I suppose, an obligation to present themselves as grandly as possible, and part of the way of doing that was in your dress.
I can remember very vividly standing next to the figure on which the dress was displayed and realising that our shoulder lines were almost exactly the same.
You and Queen Charlotte.
I mean, it's very much her style. There is actually a portrait dating to 1807 that shows Charlotte in an almost identical dress. It has the short puff sleeves, it has the high bust line, it has a train. It's made of lace, and it also has a strip of decorative lace going right down the centre, exactly as our dress here has.
This very monochrome, very plain palette, that was the fashionable look. And we can see here Charlotte being bang up to date with the column-like silhouette, with the train, and with choosing white for her dress. Isn't this the only dress, Ellie, that's known to be associated with Queen Charlotte?
Absolutely. As far as we know, there are no other surviving pieces of dress or accessories to dress anywhere in the world, which makes this an extremely special piece.